जय श्री माता जी। ऑनलाइन उपस्थित विश्व के सभी साधकों का सुबह के ध्यान सत्र में हार्दिक स्वागत है। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी को वंदन करके हम सब ध्यान की स्थिति में बैठते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी आज का ध्यान सत्र शुरू करने की कृपया अनुमति प्रदान कीजिए। हम सब सामूहिक बंधन लेते हैं। अपना चित्त हृदय में लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी कृपावंत होकर आप हमारे हृदय में विराजिए। श्री माता जी कृपा कर हमारा हृदय प्रेम, करुणा और वात्सल्य से भर दीजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी आपकी कृपा में हम केवल शुद्ध आत्मा हैं। तीन महामंत्र तत्पश्चात श्री गणेश मंत्र।
महालक्ष्मी
जय श्री माता जी। हम सब संतुलन करते हैं। राइट हैंड पृथ्वी तत्व पर, चित्त इड़ा नाड़ी और सहस्रार पर। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपकी कृपा में सामूहिकता के इड़ा नाड़ी पर तमोगुण के सभी बाधक तत्व भूमि तत्व में विलीन कर दीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा आकर सामूहिकता की इड़ा नाड़ी शुद्ध कर दीजिए। राइट हैंड गोद में, लेफ्ट हैंड आकाश की तरफ। चित्त पिंगला नाड़ी और सहस्रार पर। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपकी कृपा में सामूहिकता के पिंगला नाड़ी पर रजोगुण के सभी बाधक तत्व अहंकार आकाश तत्व में विलीन कर दीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर सामूहिकता की पिंगला नाड़ी शुद्ध कर दीजिए। लेफ्ट हैंड गोद में। चित्त मध्य नाड़ी और सहस्रार पर। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर आप हमें संतुलन दीजिए। चित्त मूलाधार चक्र पर लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपकी कृपा में सामूहिकता के मूलाधार चक्र पर श्री गणेश जी की शक्ति जागृत कीजिए, कार्यान्वित कीजिए। चित्त मूलाधार पर श्री कुंडलिनी गौरी माता। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कुंडलिनी गौरी माता साक्षात श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। अपना चित्त मध्य नाड़ी से आज्ञा चक्र पर लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपकी कृपा में हमने सबको दिल से क्षमा कर दी है। हमारा किसी के भी ऊपर गुस्सा नहीं है। बैक आज्ञा। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, जाने अनजाने हमारे हाथों से जो भी गलतियां हुई है, इन सब के लिए कृपा कर आप हमें क्षमा कर दीजिए। लॉर्ड्स प्रेयर।
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, for ever and ever. Amen.
Our Mother, who art on earth, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day your divine vibrations, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass.
जय श्री माता जी। रुकावट के लिए खेद है। अपना चित्त सहस्रार पर लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपावंत होकर आप हमारे सहस्रार पर विराजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमारा आत्म साक्षात्कार कार्यान्वित कीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमें निर्विचारिता प्रदान कीजिए। हमें निर्विकल्प ध्यान में स्थित कीजिए। जय श्री माता जी। इसी ध्यान की स्थिति में अमृतवाणी आत्मसात करते हैं। क्रिसमस पूजा गणपतिपुळे 1995 पहला भाग।
It is a great day when Christ came on this earth. And you know about how he was specially created to come down as a human being to work out the salvation of the people. It is said that he came to India in Kashmir and he met there the king, Shalimahana. It's all in Sanskrit. I've read that the conversation took place between Christ and King Shalimahana, who was a great devotee of the mother. And he asked him, "What is your name?" In Sanskrit it's already. So he said, "I come from a country where people believe in filth. And I think this is my own country." So Shalimahana said, "You are such a great person who has come on this earth. So you should go back to those countries to save them and to tell them about the pure principle of life." In Sanskrit it was written Nirmala Tattvam. And Christ went back, and after 3.5 years only, he was crucified. These were special days. I call them the days of tapasya. Same time Buddha and Mahavira were born. At the same level of the Virata's forehead. As you know that according to Vedas, there are 7 awarenesses we can go through, or the subtle qualities we have within ourselves. The first one was the Bhu. Bhu is Ganesha was created. Second is Bhurva, meaning Antariksha, means all that is created around us. The third one is Swaha at Nabhi Chakra. Swaha is the one where you consume everything. It's, in modern times we see people go on consuming everything. All kinds of books they will read. They'll go to all kinds of things, and if you tell them, "Why do you do it? What's wrong? Why do you dress up like this? What's wrong?" This just consumption of everything goes on. But then at that time also there is another great thing within us, is called as Svadha, where we sustain the dharma within us, Svadha, dharma of it. See, those people who say there should be no blind faith and this and that. It's not blind, but it's an inner urge. Why we love our parents? Because there's a dharma with us. Why do we believe in our country? Because there's a dharma within us. All these dharmas are there. Why a wife loves her husband? Because there is dharma. Why the husband loves the wife? Because there is dharma. When this dharma is within you, we not call it religion because it can mean something else. This one is sustained, dharayati. Once it is sustained within ourselves, it becomes svadha. That's our capacity, that's our quality, we can call it an innate understanding. Some of them are even in the animals, like attachment to parents, attachment to their masters. Then comes the higher awareness, where your mana, now it's not mind, there's very confusion, there's a big confusion of mind. You see, English language is really quite confusing. Mana means by which we have emotions. Now recently I read that they are now talking about not only of IQ but EQ, means emotional coefficients. That means a person who has only intelligence is not all right. He must also have the balance of emotions. They are coming to it now. But first they only used to praise people who have IQ. That's not the situation. So now it is different, perhaps they are realizing that through intelligence how people have created chaos, violence, all kinds of destruction on this earth. So now they are talking about a higher capacity within us called as EQ, which capacity is emotional. This emotional capacity comes to you as the inner urge, as the inner capability, which you cannot avoid. A person may be anything in life, but if he has no love, if he hasn't got any emotional feelings, then he is not complete. Now these emotional things also could be very limited, no doubt. They could be something that get attached to somebody or something can happen. As also the IQ, where we get attached to some idea, like Hitler had some idea. And he believed that it was the truth and he has to do it. So when you get attached to one idea like that, you can just do things which are not at all helpful, supportive or nourishing to reality. All these things have happened. Wars, destruction. Also, as you see nowadays, the people are trying to secretly destroy others. All these are coming as the anti-feeling, where the mana has developed a domination of the intelligence, where emotions are dominated by intelligence and rationality. So there is another awareness within us, another capability within us, another urge within us innately built is the jana. Jana means the people, the communication. You cannot live alone. You see, a man who goes to jail, he's quite happy, he's quite comfortable, he doesn't have to do any work. Everything is done for him. If he has a good class, he lives very well, much better than he would live outside. But the only thing is he cannot meet other people. He cannot communicate. And when this capacity of communication, which is within us, which is a part and parcel of human existence, is taken away, a person in the jail feels absolutely frustrated and unhappy. He doesn't mind laboring, doing all kinds of menial work, as long as he is not in the jail, cut out of the communications with others. So this communication is also an inner urge within us. In that also people sometimes go too far and neglect other dharmas. They are more bothered about communication than about other dharmas, which are very important. So there is no balance in a person. Then comes the sixth awareness within us, which is a very interesting thing. One was where we take to conditionings. Say, if I am an Indian, then I am very proud of Indians. I can never see anything wrong with them. Or I may see everything wrong with them. It can be both ways. How you have been conditioned is the point. And this conditioning comes to us through our sixth center of Agya. And another thing that we develop when somebody tries to condition us or to control us, we try to get out of it, or sometimes we try to dominate. This dominating capacity is also within us, innately built. Both things are innately built within us, that we go on getting ourselves conditioned. For example, I would say that in very stupid, silly manner, people get conditioned. It is impossible to get them out of it. It always comes out of self-centeredness, that a person has no value for understanding. Like now somebody comes to your house, is a vegetarian. Alright, now stays with you. So I am a vegetarian. You must get new utensils to cook the food, because I can't have food in the utensils where the meat is cooked. Right? Then you must get your servant in a proper manner, so send him to some place where you can get the well water. The servant must be absolutely drenched. This is typical Indian old style. And should go and draw the water from the well and bring it for drinking and cooking. While the servant dies of pneumonia, doesn't matter. All such stupid conditionings we have. But it's not only that in the East you find all this conditioning, in the West is even worse. For example, they have clubbing. Now there are clubs where people wear particular type of clothes. It's a club. Now, if they were something else, then everybody will laugh at them. Or how to use the spoon and fork is very important in the West. How they use spoon and fork, especially English, have this nonsensical conditioning. If somebody uses the fork and spoon in a wrong way, then finished. He is nowhere. He is not sophisticated. The ideas of sophistication and all that comes through conditioning of ages. Because maybe they were primitive to begin with, they had no clothes, proper clothes to wear. Might be they were covering themselves with some leaves or something. I mean, only hundreds of years back. So now they have jumped to the other side, very particular about their dress, very particular about fork and spoon. And they just can't bear something that is different. I don't like that, is very common there. I don't like. I don't like. Now, they came to India. We don't like. What we don't like? We don't like the way Indians dress up. Alright? You dress up the way you like, let Indians dress up like they like. Now why do you think that your dress in England will suit here in India, which is such a hot, hot, hot country? But no. This is how we are. It's quite funny the way they have. And this conditioning goes on into such a deep manner that nobody sees the stupidity behind it. For example, if the Queen has invited you, you must wear a tailcoat. And now it's very expensive to have a tailcoat. Now, they have to go to a particular shop to borrow it. Sometimes they are loose and sometimes they are tight. I have seen people coming to these parties, Queen's parties. I could never recognize them because somebody looked like Charlie Chaplin, or somebody looked like Laurel, or somebody like Hardy. I could make out who are these people. Then I was told he's that such and such ambassador. Oh my God, I know him very well. What has happened to him? They cannot walk straight. Their gait changes because of the clothes which are so tight sometimes and sometimes so loose. But you have to wear. All these formal ideas come to us as a kind of a part and parcel of you because you accept all these conditionings. So the other side, it goes to that we abandon all this. We don't want all this. We are anti-culture. So I met one gentleman who was wearing a pant which had lots of holes in it. Imagine in the cold of London to wear a pant like that. So I said, why do you want to wear a pant which has holes? He said, this is a holy pant. Holy? My goodness, it will give you varicose veins. It's horrible. What's wrong? We are anti-culture people, so we are taking now to holy pants. I mean, such stupid people are not only who are uneducated, but very well educated people, highly placed people are so conditioned. And this conditioning has caused so much damage to human beings. For example, to accept Freud had become just a complete religion in the West. Freud became Christ at that level, though he was a Jew. And he dominated the Western culture so much that I just couldn't understand the impact of this stupid man who would have been thrown in the sea if he had come to India. But the conditioning part is everything is written is law. And they accepted this man so much that the culture of the West became absolutely self-destructive throughout. No respect, no morality. Nothing was lofty. all value system shattered. Because they accepted this kind of nonsense because it was written. Even today, I hear, in such and such book such is written, in that book such and such thing is written. This is terrible condition. For example, it's written in the Bible that Jews crucified Christ. Nonsense. Just use your brains. How can Jews crucify Christ? They were in the multitude. In any country, have you heard that a person can be crucified with the general opinion of the people? It's the government, the Roman government did that. But to put the blame on the Jews was a very good idea of a very cunning man called Mr. Paul. And people accepted that because it suited them to hate the Jews. Then the Jews started creating people like Freud. So all such conditionings also have reactions. And these conditionings then build up. And once they build up, their reactions also build up. And you have a country full of all kinds of chaos, fear, violence, and destruction. The conditioning is more also with the idea of possession. This is my land, this position is mine, that is this, that. Like this it goes up to a point where people who believed in the formless God also fight for the land. Why should they? They believe in the formless God, so why should they fight for the land? But they'll go on fighting for the land. And this fighting for the land can go to any extent of very cruel things that whole country can work out. Conditionings are of every kind, if you see, are blinding your eyes. For example, they believe in Quran. Simple thing is, Quran was never written by Muhammad Sahib. He never knew how to read and write. So, it's a fact. For 40 years it was not written. There was a fellow called Mubayya or something like that, who killed Hazrat Ali, his sons. The second Khalifa. The first one died very early. Then he killed the third one also. Then he killed the fourth one, just to become himself the Khalifa. And the liver of this fourth Khalifa was eaten by the mother of this horrible fellow who hated women. So he puts it down in the Quran, all the things against women. And people accept it because it's in the Quran. Somebody has made fun of Quran and written what's wrong and so stupidities and all that. So I asked him, what is the use of writing this book? What is the use? He said, he never thought of the use. Then why did you write? It must have some use. It's a useless book. I said, it's only useful that by reading this, all the people who are Muslims who are not Muslims, will laugh at Islam, and those who are Muslims will say, wow, well, this is our book. Whatever it says, we believe in it. We are conditioned like that. So you don't solve the problem. So he said, then what should I do? I said, you write another book. Saying this all stupidity, I have written of Quran because I know it was not written by Muhammad Sahib. Don't write anything Muhammad Sahib against him. He is the one who is the incarnation of Dattatreya. It's a fact. So you write that he never wrote it, so all these people have done all these things. This conditioning can be removed if you know what sort of life Christ led. Very important. First of all, he was born in a manger. To be born in a manger means in a poor circumstance. That means he showed there's no need to have money, or there's no need to have a huge big properties or anything to be impressive on people. Those were the days where people respected the tapasvis, the one who were doing tapasya. That was the time to do tapasya. So he came on this earth and lived like a tapasvi. On the contrary, the Christians are the most self-indulgent people you could think of. You go to any Christian nation, you'll be amazed how they are just slaves of money and their watches. How they are living, it's very shocking to see they are following Christ. Yes, we follow Christ. Then, follow means what? He's there and you are standing backwards, moving. Is that the following? If you see the Catholic Church or even Protestants, you'll be shocked. How are they following Christ? I can't understand. Till now I never understood. Because Catholic is nothing but money oriented. The only thing they have picked up from Christ that he went to a wedding and created wine out of water and distributed. Now this wine is just the juice of the grapes. It's also called wine in the Hebrew language. Thank God I've read Bible in Hebrew, translated directly. So it's called draksharas. Because instantly you cannot create alcohol. It has to rot, and the more it rots, the more good it is, they say. They write it down, this is 25 years old, so the price is much. But if it is 300 year old, the price is exorbitant. So it has to rot and smell like hell. Then only it's a good alcohol, is a fact. How could Christ create that instant, that moment, alcohol? But now what I find is this, that if somebody dies, they will take champagne to celebrate what? Good riddance of bad rubbish. Or when somebody is born, they will do it. But on Christmas Day, especially, after coming from church, don't go to any Christian's house. Even the Indian Christians have started following the Western people, because Indian Christians believe that Christ was born in England. All such ideas have come from where? Is because the English and the Portuguese, the French brought Christianity to us. Now, by any chance, are they Christians? What business they had to bring Christianity to this place? They took Christianity to all the places, especially Spanish. Spanish, Portuguese went round the whole world to spread Christianity, and today is the mess that you see in those people. They are nothing but drunkards. Yesterday I was going back and the sea was full of happiness and joy, and the water had reached a very high level. It happens with me. But what I found, there were 4 or 5 Christians coming, singing carols and just completely drunk. And I was thinking they'll be drowned in this water very soon. This was the great boon of Christianity on human beings, that you can drink as much as you like. Now this drinking has come, I should say, from where? God alone knows. But it has come also from the Christians. And the Muslims also drink, no doubt. But they hide and drink. They don't openly drink and don't call it a religious duty that you should drink. Imagine in the church, when they give communication, they give you some sort of a dirty smelling wine. After that, how can you have communication? Once you are drunk, you are finished. But all these things happen. So, today we are talking about Christ. He is sitting in a position of Agya Chakra, controlling pineal and pituitary. By that he controls our condition. If we follow him, then we cannot be conditioned by anything. Because he talked of spirit only. Spirit cannot be conditioned. Conditioned by anything. Whatever is good, that will be accepted, good, congenial to the spirit. It's a different attitude of a person who is spiritual. Like we had people here, I know they are not very comfortable. Some of them are put into the stands here and there. But they are enjoying because they are enjoying the spiritual atmosphere. They don't care where they sleep, where they live, what they have. This is all because you have entered into the kingdom of God. But those who have not, so much worried, this is not good, I want this way, that way, all material happiness they seek, trouble everybody, criticize everybody, get angry with everybody. But actually, they haven't got spiritual joy. And they can never be really in joy unless and until they become fully spiritual. Christ has openly said that you have to know yourself. Same in Quran, Muhammad Sahaba said, unless until you know yourself, you will not know God. There are lots of truths still in Quran I find left over by this Muwayya, and also in the Bible, also in the Jews. I find their Torah and all that has lots of truth, but is covered by all this kind of thinking, rationality and adjustments they have done for their own use. Actually, we have to understand that Christ never started any exclusive religion. No. None of them. Especially Muhammad Sahib has talked about Abraham, he's talked about Moses, he's talked about Christ and his mother much more than in the Bible, respected her. And he said there have been more than 1 lakh walis, means realized souls, before. But still Muslims are some sort of a unique people because they call themselves Muslims. Whether they drink doesn't matter, whether they womanize doesn't matter, they kill people doesn't matter. They're running after few things which are forbidden to them, but still they are Muslims. Same with the Christians. Difficult to find a man who is a real Christian who follows Christ before realization. After realization, of course, we are different. But for that you have to cross this Agya. Agya also is there, which has to control your ego. Christ in his lifetime showed how ego works. His own crucifixion itself shows how Christ, such a great incarnation of purity, was crucified. Shows what people are like, what they did to him, how he was troubled and tortured by these stupid people, and then how he was crucified by the government. In the beginning there were many Sahajogis, I should say they were called as Gnostics. Gna in Sanskrit means knowledge. Who had the knowledge about self? Christ has said, thou shalt. He said that, know thyself. You have to knock at the door. Meaning you must have Shuddha Ichha. Otherwise it won't work out. Nobody can force. He controls the ego. He is the one who gives you the balance. But if you go to the West, you know they are nothing but some sort of a stupid donkey-like ego. The way they talk, the way they behave towards each other, it's a big eye-opener. They are developed. How are they developed? God knows. Oh, they are very advanced, sophisticated, this, that. With this agya catching, Christ has said in his Lord's Prayer, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive them who trespass against us. What a big thing to say. But one thing I have seen in the West, people don't know how to forgive. They are full of hatred. And they cannot ask forgiveness because they are full of terrible ego. Though they will feel guilty, but they will never ask for forgiveness. They'll never say that, oh God, forgive me for what I have done. This is so common now. For example, the Nazis. They killed so many people, and still you find these neo-Nazis coming up, even in Italy. They are not ashamed as to what they have done. This happens because there is no really connection with Christ. Firstly, if you have connection with Christ, your ego has to be finished. Absolutely. And this ego, which comes to you from various sources, is a myth. Is a myth. With this ego, people try to befool others and show off. Like there's a story of Shapesh, I don't know if you've read about him. He came to a king and told him that I'm a great architect and I'll build a big palace for you and this. The way he posed, the king believed him. He said, all right, go ahead. I'll send you so much money. Now with this whole attitude and the way he was describing himself, all his gestures full of such ego, that this king also got completely lost. He gave him lots of money. And in 6 months' time he came back and said, I built your palace, come and have a look. He went there. He saw it was just the same land, there was no palace, nothing. So king thought something gone wrong with him or what. He was again looking and looking, and what does he find? He finds there was no palace, nothing. Immediately he realized that his ego has befooled him. So the king was very clever that way, he realized it. She started saying, see, this is the main road by which we'll go, and there's the palace, now the door opens. Nothing there. It's all just a story. And now here is your throne, and please be seated on it. He said, first you sit. He made this Shapesh to sit on a throne which never existed. Now imagine, it was very painful. He said, you sit. I want to see you sitting there. I like it. For 1 hour he made him sit. For 2 hours he made him sit. Ultimately, Shapesh fell at his feet and he said, sir, I'm sorry. There is no palace, there is no throne, nothing of the kind. But the king had lost all his money.
जय श्री माता जी, कृपया ध्यान की स्थिति बनाए रखें। जय श्री माता जी। श्री आदिशक्ति मंत्र। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवै नमो नमः। आरती की तैयारी करते हैं।
सुन लो, हो ये सके जो सेवा, हो ये सके जो सेवा हमसे करा लेना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माताजी, जय निर्मल माताजी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुण्डलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी, श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्के साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी, श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्के साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माताजी, श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। श्री
परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आज का ध्यान हम आपके श्री चरणों पर समर्पित करते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमारे अंदर श्री यीशु, श्री बुद्ध, श्री महावीर और श्री विराट विराटांगना की शक्ति जागृत कीजिए, कार्यान्वित कीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमारे अंदर विश्व निर्बल धर्म स्थापित कीजिए। कृपा कर हमारी बुद्धि और भावना में संतुलन दीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमारी नकारात्मक और विरोधी प्रवृत्ति नष्ट कीजिए, हमें वास्तविकता में स्थित कीजिए। श्री माता जी, हमारे संचार में संतुलन बनाइए, हमारे कुसंस्कार और प्रभुत्व दिखाने की प्रवृत्ति नष्ट कीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर धार्मिक कर्मठपना से हमें अलिप्त रखिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमें भौतिक और तथाकथित पश्चिमी सुधारणावादी जीवन शैली के भ्रामक विचार सरणी से हमें मुक्त कीजिए। श्री माता जी, सभी प्रकार के संस्कार से हमें मुक्त कीजिए, हमें अंदर से संन्यस्त और तपस्वी बनाइए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर समस्त विश्व के लोगों की अल्कोहल और नशीली चीज़ों के सेवन से पूर्णतः मुक्त कीजिए। कृपा कर हमारा आध्यात्मिक उत्थान मध्य से कीजिए, हमारे अंदर परम चैतन्य कार्यान्वित कीजिए। कृपा कर हमें शुद्ध इच्छा शक्ति और ज्ञान से आशीर्वादित करें। कृपा कर हमें अहंकार और दिखावटीपना से मुक्त कीजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपके श्री चरणों पर हमारा कोटि कोटि नमन, कोटि कोटि नमन, अनंत कोटि नमन। जय श्री माता जी। सामूहिक बंधन लेते हैं। जय श्री माता जी। आज के कार्यक्रम, आज शाम का ध्यान ठीक 7 बजे प्रतिष्ठान पुणे यूट्यूब चैनल पर लाइव प्रसारित होगा। आज का ध्यान सूत्र यहीं पे संपन्न होता है। अब हम सहज संगीत का आनंद उठाते हैं। आज का दिन सबके लिए आनंदमय मंगलमय रहे। जय श्री माता जी।
आजा 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 माँ की शरण में आजा, माँ की शरण में आजा, जीवन अनमोल बना जा, जीवन अनमोल बना जा। आजा आजा माँ की शरण में आजा, माँ की शरण में आजा, जीवन अनमोल बना जा, जीवन अनमोल बना जा। आजा सारा जीवन व्यर्थ गवाया, सारा जीवन व्यर्थ गवाया, अब तो थोड़ा ध्यान में आजा, माँ की शरण में आजा, जीवन अनमोल बना जा, जीवन अनमोल बना जा। आजा धन और दौलत तूने जुटाई, धन और दौलत तूने जुटाई, अपनी ही शक्ति को तूने न जानी, धन और दौलत तूने जुटाई, अपनी ही शक्ति को तूने न जानी। माँ ने पुकारा तुझको है आजा, माँ ने पुकारा तुझको है आजा, निर्मल ज्ञान को तू भी लुटा जा। आजा 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 आजा। शरण में जग है समाया मैया साचा नाम तेरा मैया साचा नाम तेरा निर्मल नाम से जग ने जाना निर्मल नाम से जग ने जाना कुंडलिनी का ज्ञान बताया कुंडलिनी का ज्ञान बताया सबके दाता विश्वविधाता सबके दाता विश्वविधाता तू है सबकी माता मैया साचा नाम तेरा मैया साचा नाम तेरा तेरी शरण में जग है समाया तेरी शरण में जग है समाया मैया साचा नाम तेरा मैया साचा नाम तेरा आदि शक्ति का रूप समाई आदि शक्ति का रूप समाई हे परमेश्वरी जगत कल्याणी हे परमेश्वरी जगत कल्याणी भारत माँ की तू जाननी है भारत माँ की तू जाननी है साधु संत की वाणी तू मैया साचा नाम तेरा मैया साचा नाम तेरा तेरी शरण